Hi, let's look at this question together. In this question, you are supposed to find the area of the shaded figure. Okay, this question is taken from the T5 workbook A. Okay, so let's look at this figure. I'm going to share with you how do I actually analyze this question step by step. Okay, so from the question, it looks like they only give you three dimensions: 20 centimeter, 18 centimeter, and 12 centimeter. Okay, however, they give you another important piece of information. You see the dash line here? There's a dash line here. Between G and F, there's a dash line. Okay, there's also a dash line between B and C, C and H and D. Okay, the dash line simply means that the length of this line is equal to the length of this line is equal to the length is equal to the length. So which means that these four lines is exactly the same. But it also tells you that since these three lines is the same length, B and D, it must be also the same length. So this is a square. Okay, so this is an important piece of information which your child will tend to miss out because they only see the dimension of 12, 18 and 20. Okay, so now from the piece of information we can say that GF, which is here, is GF, which is here, is equal to 18 centimeter minus 12 centimeter. So it's 6 centimeter. So if GF is equal to BD and BC, so which means that all this place is 6 centimeter, 6 centimeter, 6 centimeter, 6 centimeter, 6 centimeter. Okay, once you get this thing out, okay, you know all the dimension of the figure. The next thing is how do we find the shaded area? Okay, in this case, I simply take this into two parts. Okay, one is the bottom rectangle part. I take out this part and on top is the square. So I break the question into two parts. Okay. So for the bottom part, the one with the rectangle, okay, if you further break the shape, you realize that it's actually a rectangle minus away a triangle. Okay, and you will get this shaded part called area X. I just call it area X. You can call it area 1. You can call it any other thing. Okay. So by doing that, now look at the area rectangle ADEF is basically 20 times 18 is equal to 360. Area of the triangle. Okay, remember just now we know that this is 20. We know that this portion is 6. So the length is 14. Okay. So area of the triangle ABG, I can say is half times base times height. So the base is 14, the height is 12. So it will give me 84 centimeters square. So area X is basically rectangle minus triangle. So I take 360 minus 84, you give me 276 centimeters square. So I got this part done. Okay. The other part is actually the top part. Remember we saw a little triangle there? Okay, so for this it's quite straightforward. You don't have to take the square and minus away the triangle because it is already a triangle here, which you already know the base and the height. So the base is 6. Okay, remember this four side has the same length, so the base is 6, the height is also 6. So the area is 18 centimeters square. I call it area Y, so I just say that area Y is 18 centimeters square. So the total shaded area is area X plus area Y, is 276 plus 18 is equal to 294. Okay, so this is how you solve the question. I also want to share a mistake that the children may tend to make. Okay, they thought that this was a shaded area. Remember just now the orange was this side. They simply flip it and say that I have a big triangle and a rectangle below. So I find the area, the big triangle and the rectangle below. Okay, and add up, that is the total shaded area. Okay, this is not correct because after you flip it, you realize that the dimension is that this triangle is not a complete right angle triangle. There is a gap in between. So you have either missed out the area here or you have subtracted the area here. So you cannot just make this assumption. That is the reason why we need to tear it into two pieces. I hope it helps. Thank you.